So we have 5 key things that we're going to kind of talk through today, and then we'll leave some time for questions if you have them. Thankfully, none of us are information technology professionals, so there may be a question that's beyond the scope of our understanding, but if we're not able to get you an answer here live on the call today, then please know that we are more than happy, and we'll go back to Commonwealth and try to get answers for all your questions. But we're going to talk through a couple things. First, Investor 360 is its messages feature and how it's a great way for you to securely share documents with us and vice versa for us back to you without having to risk something being intercepted on email. We'll talk about setting up paperless for all your accounts. Many of you have, but just in case, we'll show you how to go through that. We'll talk about tax docs, where you can find documents from your meetings that you have with Opus advisors. And then finally, we'll talk about linking outside accounts before turning it over for questions. And with that, I will turn it over to Emily to talk about messages and going paperless.
Okay. So when you first log in, this is the main screen that you're going to see. And if you want to send us a secure message, you'll see up at the top where it says messages, where the pointer is right now. If you click on that, you can compose a message. And all you need to do is fill in the subject of whatever it is you want to talk about. Yep. And then fill in the body, whatever your question is. And if you have any attachments that you want to add, you can drag those attachments into that gray field, or you can select the browse to upload, which I probably wouldn't do right now. And then once you're done with that, all you have to do is press send, and we'll get a message as soon as you send that message to us. If you want to look at any previous messages that you sent, over where it says inbox, if you click on sent instead, you can see all the previous messages too, and you can see in the to section of where that where you sent it to.
So, Em, would you also talk about what, if we send them a message, what they're going to receive so that they know not to ignore it?
Yeah, so if we send you a message, you'll get an email about it. And kind of in the from section where you see where that says the CRM training, if there's any attachments to that message, there will be a little paper clip there. And then all you have to do is click on the message subject. You just want to click on one of them, Andrew. Yeah. So you'll see the message, and then the attachment will be right underneath the title. So it'll be pretty obvious that there's an attachment to that message. And all you have to do is click on it, and it should open. If you don't see that attachment when you click on it, it probably went to your downloads folder. So you'll have to go to your downloads and find it that way.
And the one thing that I'll just say about this really quickly is just, this is, one of the things we take very seriously here at Opus is your privacy and the security of your information. This messages tab is a great tool to help us and you keep your information safe. So even just beyond attachments, if you have to send us your grandchild's social security number to get them added as a beneficiary on account, right? Email, pretty secure generally. Calling us and telling us over the phone also works great. But if you want to put it down, or there's a lot of information, you can also trust that it's going to be secure here, because this is contained within Commonwealth and Commonwealth's kind of web of firewalls. So it's a great way to try to keep that information secure, both coming to us and coming back to you, which is a real benefit of the system. Especially compared to, some of you may remember the document exchange that we used to have. That was a separate username and login you had to create, and we had to, you had to reset passwords because you only use it the once a year at tax time. This is a much better way because it's just your Investor 360 where you come to monitor all your accounts.
Yeah, one other thing I might add, Andrew, is that often when we're talking to you, they're going to talk about linking accounts a little later, but if you have to upload a statement to us from an outside vendor, whether it's an insurance policy or your 401k plan, or that, this is how we suggest you do it. By sending us an email and putting it as an attachment, then we get the thing secure. The other thing that we used to use is something called ShareFile. This has vastly simplified the way in which we can, exchange documents securely, both from you to us and vice versa.
I'm sure you've heard us talk about going paperless. If you have any new accounts that you have set up since you turn your other accounts, the paperless preferences, you'll have to do that manually as well. So how you do that is if you look over to the top right corner, it says welcome Jane now, but it'll say your name. If you click on that, there will be a drop-down menu and you'll see paperless preferences. So if you click on that, and unfortunately the demo doesn't have a screen that you would see, but Andrew, I just sent you a screenshot in Teams if you want to open that up.
Gosh,
I forgot that you were I forgot that you were sharing.
Hang on one second. Let me just.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Has my Teams window showed up?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say make it a little bigger. So this is something similar that you'll see. I obviously blocked out all of the person's personal information, but I've highlighted or circled in red where you'll see to edit the paperless preferences. There's a little pencil there. It's grayed out for me since I can't go in and change the paperless preferences for you, but you'll see it in blue when you pull up that screen. And all you want to do is you'll see the postal delivery and the e-delivery. If you see anything postal delivery besides your tax documents, it's fine if you get that delivered physically, but you'll want to click on the e-delivery for everything else and it'll save automatically so you don't have to worry about saving that. But that's how you turn on paperless preferences for your accounts.
I thought I recalled there being some sort of checkbox, which was, set all of my future accounts that are established to paperless. Did that feature go away or is that still an option?
I know when you first log into Investor 360 that you should get a pop-up screen.
From what my understanding is that if you set up a new account, you have to go in there and manually do it. I don't think you can code it for any future account to automatically go paperless. But, there's a reason to go paperless beyond just not wanting to kill more trees. And that is that it actually reduces the ticket charge that you get charged in our fee-based accounts from $7.95 to I think it's like $4.95, so you save $3. Where we were before, they would charge you if you didn't do it. Now they're just basically reducing a charge. And then the other thing is that, as Emily pointed out, lots of us, and I'm one of them, prefer to get our tax documents in the physical mail, but just know that you will also receive them electronically, even if you have that as postal delivery. So you can pull it down if you want, but you can also get it in the mail, and that doesn't affect that price savings on your ticket charges in your accounts.
Well, Em, thanks for talking us through messages and going paperless there. Again, right, we encourage everyone to go paperless. It is important also to note that if you do select go paperless for all your accounts, it does not mean you will never get paper in the mail from Commonwealth. There are certain things that are regulatorily required to send you a mail. For instance, if you ever change your address and and rightfully tell us that you've changed your address so we can get everything updated, it will kick off a new physical paper saying this has been listed as a change of address. I think it does it one for every account. We apologize for that, but obviously it's a good thing if you get that item in the mail and go, I didn't change my address with the folks over at Opus. So, it's things like that they are still required to send you via snail mail. But paperless is a great way to reduce the influx of paper. Really quickly, before we go to tax docs, I think it's worthwhile to just take a tour around the dashboard really quickly. All your accounts wind up over here in this column on the left. Your Opus accounts and your annuities as well will wind up showing here kind of in this accounts to total net worth segment, and there are sub-sums there. Additional accounts we'll come back to in a minute. You can see your portfolio and the accounts in your portfolio's performance compared to various benchmarks. We use internal rate of return here at Opus, so that's what you see on your dashboard when you log in. You can also take a look just broadly at what are the most tracked indices are doing, and then you also should be able to see kind of what the top 10 holdings, in this case they've only modeled 4, but what the top 10 holdings by actual dollar market cap weighting within your portfolio are, all here on this central dashboard. It is tax time. I hope you all are as eager to be done with tax time as I am. But if you ever need to access one of the tax documents for one of your Opus accounts, you can do it by scrolling over here to Statements and Documents. I didn't click, just putting my mouse over it caused this drop down to appear, right? And ordinarily this top row, Statements, is where you would go if you needed to get a hold of a monthly statement for your account. And one below that, Tax Docs, will pull up a screen that looks like this. And from here, you can see all of your accounts that you have at Opus, right? And if there's not a current tax year doc generated, you'll see kind of the previous year, and you can click on that. Or if you see this, right, you can click on most recent tax document. It should send you to something like this. There you go. That says, right, Wealthscape. And if you did have a new tax doc, you'd have an option to download the PDF there. So if you need to get access to something both current and former, that's the best place to do it. It's Statements and then mouse down to Tax Documents here as well. You can also see the other documents related to your account, including this tab that just says Documents. Now, this tab is another place for us to store documents relating to your account. And a big place, if you've been, if you had an annual progress update meeting this year and gotten a summary letter, you should have also probably seen that we have created within here a meetings folder, and that would show up over here on this left side, right? That folder is shared with you, and unfortunately, we don't control this demo site, so we don't have one made up for you. But if you were to click into that, you would then be able to navigate to the current year and find the summary letter and the report bundle that we generated for that set of meetings. So those always live there. You can always go back and see, if you get to the end of the year and go, what on earth did I talk with Bill about in our meeting back in August? It's right there, and it is securely preserved there on the server. If you don't have a meeting document folder in your account yet, we're in the process of creating them for all of our clients as we go through the course of having meetings this year. So we'll get you in there when we see you over the course of the year. The last thing that we want to talk about before we start opening it up for questions is linking outside accounts. And this is a really, really handy way to track all of your money in one place if you want to. I've done it with all of my accounts on my Investor 360, and it is really, really nice to be able to log in on any given day and see everything. The way it works basically is here where it says additional accounts, and you should all see it on your dashboard below the balances tab, right? There's a section additional accounts. If it's like this, you want to make sure that you have that plus turned to a minus that causes it to expand. You can link outside bank accounts or credit cards, so you know what your credit card balance is on any given month. If you happen to still be working, or you have money in an outside 401k or even an outside investment account, you can link all of those here. And the way you do it is you come to this box right here that says add account, and it pulls up, right? It has some of the most common ones right off the bat, but you can also search for things. So let's say maybe BECU, right? So there's BECU, the Boeing Employees Credit Union. I could click here, right? And if I had a BECU account, I could input my username and password for BECU's site, and it would allow me to link my accounts. There's a series of boxes that you go through and checking, but basically you can link it all so it all comes here. You can also actually even have the site try to put an estimate on your house based on your address. And then you could add an outstanding balance on your mortgage if you wanted to include the house in your total net worth here on the dashboard. So, there are a number of benefits for that. For you, it would allow you to, like I said, have one screen here on Investor 360 that you come with to keep an eye on all of your stuff. It also helps us tremendously from a planning perspective when we're getting set for these annual progress update meetings. I know you guys get the emails from M saying, hey, can you let us know how are the bank accounts right now and the cash reserve and, XYZ or an outside account. If you want to, you can link those here, and then we just have access to the data and we can go and put it into our planning software.
So a couple things. First of all, I've been watching this linking thing for 15, 20 years, and it's great, But remember that if your bank or credit card company or whatever says you got to change your password, then the link will break. You need to be able to come in here and update the links and your logons here as well. So that's one thing. I think the other thing is many of you over the years, not everyone, but many of you have e-money accounts where you've been linking things, and that works. But I just want to explain the difference. So the Investor 360 site provides us with a live feed data, but it doesn't do any financial planning. E-money is where we do our financial planning. So it doesn't matter to us if you link it here or you link it in e-money, although we think that it works more seamlessly here. As long as we have those outside accounts linked in one or the other, it makes the job that we have in preparing for our various meetings with you that much easier to do. And it means that, we can be working in anticipation of our meeting and then say, hey, by the way, we're missing a couple of things, as opposed to, send us your most recent statement from Merrill Lynch or your 401k plan and the like. So just know that, the system is really robust and powerful, but it ain't perfect. And if you got to change your password, you got to change your password. You got to remember to do it here if those links are still going to be current.
And that's the main thrust of what we wanted to be sure to show you today on Investor 360.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for your time this afternoon. We appreciate all of you, and we look forward to chatting with you as time goes on.